Hi guys. I'm back to do another Cornsnake husbandry, advanced Cornsnake husbandry guide. This time feeding your new Cornsnake because we are all there. We all have this problem. So let's go ahead and talk about how do you feed a snake you just got in that's not eating for you. First thing you need to remember is that the snake has been fed already. It's eaten at least twice for the breeder before the breeder sent it to you. If any breeder has not fed a snake twice before sending it to you, it is grossly irresponsible. Some breeders will actually sell snakes to other breeders as a special. It's like, hey, this clutch just hatched. Who wants to buy some snakes at like a wholesale price? Just so I can get rid of some of these snakes. And sometimes they'll do that and they'll sell it to other breeders, but usually that's not the case. If you're watching this, that's not the case. You're watching this because your snake is not eating and you just got it in and you're panicking. And welcome to the video. This is why we make these videos for people like you. So Kairozdormu was out. Kairozdormu was out earlier, not long ago, doing his laps, but it looks like he's hiding now. Oh, there he is. Hello. So after getting Kairozdormu, I realized I've actually gotten enough experience to make a pretty reliable Cornsnake guide for feeding your new Cornsnakes. So this entire room here, all these snakes in these boxes, all those snakes have come in the last 12 months. We have Alexstrasza, my first Cornsnake. We have Saffron and Acridostrasz, second and third Cornsnake. Got them together. I got Kairozdormu, my fourth Cornsnake. Got our New Year's. We have Obsidia, a rat snake that I got like a week later after Kairozdormu. Don't know exactly, but I got it like a week after Kairozdormu. Then I got Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza I got back in May. It was kind of a slow time. And then since then I've picked up... What did I pick up in order? I picked up these two snakes, two more black rat snakes of calico black rat snakes. Calico is the morph. I picked up these two, Galacron and Goyona, the half siblings. I picked them up back in June, I think. Over here we have Kairozdormu, and he is still in his little spot. Trust me, he's alive. He was running around earlier. I'll show the B footage. But Kairozdormu, I got him about 2 months ago. I got Anachronos, and I got him like 3 weeks ago. So yeah, and I'm about to get two more snakes, and like all these are really young snakes. All of them were hatched this year or last year, and I had to get every single one of these back on food. I mean, some of them didn't really go off of food. So like, for example, Saffron over there ate immediately. Like, he was happy to eat. I had him and Acrid quarantined together because they came from the same breeder. And I had so when Acrid didn't eat a mouse, Saffron picked it up and ate it. So great eater, ate immediately first try, no problem. So that's what you're gonna get, like a good 30 to 50% of the time. You get a snake that will eat off tongs for you even, and like happily eats off tongs. So let's go ahead and just get started. Like this is why I feel confident making this video. No, I'm not a breeder. Am I going to be breeding? Heck yeah, I'm going to be breeding these snakes. But I definitely have been in the situation that y'all are in. You got brand new snakes in, and they're not eating yet for whatever reason. So let's go ahead and start at the beginning with Alexstrasza. So Alexstrasza was my first corn snake, and she didn't eat for a good, I think, 27, 28 days. And I couldn't, we tried like leaving the mouse for her. We tried tongue feeding. She would actually like bite, like strike the mouse and whatnot. Just wouldn't eat it. I guess it was too much stress, or she was getting distracted, but she didn't feel comfortable. And I was looking and looking and looking, and I finally found a video where someone was feeding the corn snakes, and they were feeding them in small feeding dishes. I'm like, I haven't read anything about this before, so I tried it, and Alexstrasza ate. Alexstrasza ate, and it took me a while to get her onto like tongue feeding, like feeding from tongs. But now she confidently tongue feeds, and it's great, and whatnot. And she's been a good eater for me since for the last 8 months. She's been a great eater for me. Then we had these two come in. Obviously, I always said Saffron ate fine, and I said Acride didn't eat too well. So Acride is your 5 out of 100 corn snakes that will give you hell, and will not, and no matter what you do, will not eat. So so for Acride, it was about a month and a half, and I was getting pretty frustrated. I was like, why isn't he eating? I tried tease feeding a little bit to see if he'll like go at it, if the mouse was like really pushing up against him. Didn't eat. I think he didn't even tell Buzz. He just like, no, I don't want anything to do with this. So, and we tried feeding dishes, we tried everything. He just wouldn't eat. So everything I could think of, which wasn't very much at the time, but we tried everything I could think of, and we had to settle on feeding him live mice, and he ate live mice barely. You put the live mouse with him, and he would eat it usually. He'd usually eat the live mouse, and he wouldn't constrict it, just eat it live, and he wasn't excited to eat. So, but I had to feed him live until he was big enough, so until he was on like large fuzzies. And once he got to like large fuzzies and like the hop, like he should have been able to eat hoppers, but just was too chicken to eat a hopper. I tried quail, and he loves quail, so he's on frozen thawed quail, and he's doing great on those, and he's growing, and he's doing great. So sometimes you're just never going to be able to feed a snake frozen thawed mice. It happens. It's rare. Usually this doesn't happen. Usually, if anything, the breeder's is gonna get these snakes, and is not gonna sell these snakes until and this will not happen. He was strange. Like, he, on the records from the breeder, like, he was eating frozen thawed mice, no problem. Like, he missed a meal one time in the record, but he was eating. But when I got him, he wouldn't eat. So, and he had already eaten about 12 meals with the breeder, so he should have been able to eat no problem. But I had to feed him live, and that happens sometimes. Live mice versus a frozen thawed mouse. If you're buying your frozen thawed mice in bulk, a live mouse is about, I don't know, 4 to 6 times more expensive than your frozen thawed mouse in bulk. So, yeah, plenty of reason not to feed live mice right there. Even if you're able to get them up onto quail, a quail is still like double the cost of it's only like 2-3 times the cost of a same size mouse. So you can feed your snake quail if you got your snake to that size. If you'll take quail, luckily mine's a quail, and I'm happy with that, and he's happy with that, and I'm not going to fight him anymore about this. I still try to tease him onto thawed mice, but he doesn't really like them. But he eats quail, and that's a balanced meal, and so he eats quail. Then we have what do we have? So, but he's your like 5 out of 100, like 5% of the time. This is what's gonna be happening. Like your snake is not gonna eat at all. Try live. Live is generally the silver bullet. You want to try live. Like the last thing you want to try is live, because if a snake's not eating frozen thawed, but it will take live, it may never take a frozen thawed. It may just turn its nose up to eat live, and your snake will maintenance feed itself with live, just because it does not need to eat as much as you want it to eat. So it will turn its nose up and starve itself in order to get a live mouse instead. So hunger strikes, that's something you have to watch out for if you're feeding, if you gone to live mouse before the snake's comfortably eating frozen thawed mice. So, but cornsnakes are amazing eaters, and this is definitely an outlier of the others. So that's Acridostrasz. Let's talk about Kairozdormu over here. And looks like she's still in her little sandwich bag, little snack bag hide. She was a great eater. When I got her in, before I got her, I sent a message to the breeder. I was like, "Hey, how are you? How well is she eating?" Because I was already dealing with a snake that was only eating live mice. And she's coming out to check us out. So, and the breeder's like, "Yeah, she's tongue feeding, like no problem." I'm like, "Great, okay, sweet. Let's go ahead." So I get her in. I go ahead and try. I think 4 days. I try to tongue feed her, and she eats all the tongs with gusto. Like happily eats it. It's like, sweet, no problem. Happy she ate, no problem. So feeding with gusto. So Kairozdormu, that's like 90% of the time. If you have a well-established corn snake, that's what they're going to do. If you have a corn snake older than getting a corn snake that's older than 3 months, that's what you're going to get most of the time. Like 50% to 30 to like 60%. Your snake is going to eat like off the tongs with gusto, happily eat for you. It may be shy of the first meal sometimes, but it'll eat. But don't stress your snake out with tongue feed. If your snake doesn't tongue feed, even if it's like well established, just like shake the mouse a little bit someplace so the snake can get a little bit of interest, and then leave the mouse there. And sometimes the snake will eat it within like 10-15 minutes, and you're good to go. Next time you try tongue feeding, they might even tongue feed the next times. But leaving the mouse there, like don't push tongue feeding too much. You can stress out your snake. So that was Kairozdormu. She was pretty easy to switch over. Let's go ahead and talk about the next snake I picked up, which was a Lomi, and no, a Lomi down at the bottom. She's my Gold Dust Tessera, and she wasn't super quick to pick up the mice. I had to really she tongue fed for me, but I had to really shake the mouse for her to get her to like focus in on it. But she ate for me, and she ate well. And once I got her on the mouse, she happily ate the mouse, and so it was no problem. So, but if I were to do anything differently, I would not have pushed the tongs as much. But she was well established. Like she was, I don't know exactly when she was hatched, but she was at least 6 months old when I got her. So pretty well established, and she was pretty calm to handle. So like it wasn't a big issue, and she was happily eating them. The next thing I got in was Alexstrasza over here underneath all the bowls and stuff. See if she's poking like her tail out of anything. Nah, she's just in there. Anyway, so Alexstrasza is she did tongue feed initially, or maybe I had to drop it in front of her. Tongue feed and then drop, like tease with tongs and then drop it, and then she went after it. But she did tongue feed, and she's she was at least six, 7, maybe even 8 months old when I got her. So she was pretty happy to. She wasn't like super eager to eat, but she ate. Like the first mouse she ate, I think I would have gone with the smaller mouse on that. I should have gone with the smaller mouse on that first time feeding, but when she ate, she got the mouse down about halfway past her mouth, and then she spat it up. And she was like, you know, I don't feel comfortable with this. And so I picked the mouse back up with tongs, took some of the, had to pick some of the shredded aspen off of it, and then shook it in front of her, and she ate immediately. She was happy to eat it the second time, ate with gusto. And that was how she was. She kind of like, she was, like the next time I fed her, she spat up the mouse just a little bit, and then got it down. Like, but she was able to eat just fine. Kind of like in between, like, kind of in between. Sometimes you have to take it easy with the snake, not force it too hard. Just if they're showing interest in the mouse, like hold them with the tongs if they're showing interest and they're moving up to the mouse. But don't push it if your snake is not like taking interest in the mouse. So after Alexstrasza, I got these two snakes down here, Galagron and Goriona. Galagron ate immediately. He was the first male in his clutch to eat immediately. So he actually ate the first male presented to him, and he's been a great eater. I got him in, and he ate, no problem. From tongs, happily eat. Actually, no, I think I dropped the mouse, like shook it in front of him, and then dropped it, and then he ate it. Goriona was she was really young when I got her, and I think she only had like 1 meal in all. But the breeder was pretty confident that I could successfully feed her. Ah, there she is. Alexstrasza is poking her nose out. Anyway, you're not getting help. You still have a mouse in you. You're not. Polly doesn't have a mouse in her. She probably digested it already, but I'm not handling her today because I always give them like 2 full days to digest. Not counting the day I feed them. So anyway, so Goriona, she didn't eat initially. I sent a message to the breeder, just like, hey, yeah, this thing didn't eat, but you know, it's fine. I realize she's really young, like she's only like 3 weeks old, so like her not eating after like arrival is normal. It was kind of soon. I'll go ahead and try again in like 2 or 3 days. I did, and she ate, no problem. So, but she was a little bit slower to pick up. But she's definitely the more docile of the two. But no, right now she eats great. Sometimes she tongs feeds. Sometimes I just have to put the mouse by her opening and see if she'll take it. See, is that? Oh yes, that's Galagron right there. That's his nose sticking up out right there. Oh, yep, he's checking us out. See if I can tease him out a little bit. Come on, come out. Yeah, he teased him out just a little bit. Anyway, so that's how I got Goriona to feed. Then I got after Goriona, I got Sindragosa over here. Sindragosa ate just about immediately, tongue fed even, and really happy that she just tongue fed. She was really young too. Like I think she was like about 4 weeks old, and she just tongue fed. Like it's really great when they do that. You know, they just make it easy for you. Is she in there? So you can see where she's hiding. That's not Sindragosa. That's Kairozdormu. That's right. Sorry, Sindragosa is over here because she's been doing so good. Oh, there she is. She's off sticking her head out. There you go, just watching me. But tongue feeds, no problem. Sindragosa, love her. Easy snake. Like I said, 30 to 50% of the time, that's what your snake will do. And even a young snake, the tongue feed, or maybe they don't tongue feed, you throw the mouse in there and they'll just eat. Then I got Kairos and Kairos. I gave him 3 meals before I handled him because he was really slow to eat. I had to leave the mouse generally I left the mouse like right there for him, like, and he would normally use his hide, and like he'll eat by in the morning, like I shake it in front of him, he'll like, oh no, I don't want to, I'm scared of that, but he'll sit around and like watch me in the room, come out, had no problems coming out and like exploring the room while I'm in the room, walking around, doing my thing, and he'll happily explore, stare me down, come up on the little buckle right there and like watch me. So yeah, that was Kairos, and but he wouldn't eat, like he was reluctant to eat. So the first time I got him to eat, he washed the mouse and he ate. Then I tried washing the mouse again. He didn't eat, but I brained it, and then he ate. Then after that, he didn't eat initially, so I think I did a boiled mouse. No, I did a wash and brain mouse again, and he ate that. So I was like, well, he ate 3 times, wasn't with gusto because they had to leave the mouse for him overnight, but he was eating. So I went ahead and was like, okay, so I can start handling him. So I handled him for like 10 to 15 minutes, like 2 days after feeding him, and I put him in, went to feed him the next day, and wouldn't eat. So I was like, dang it. So what I learned, well, definitely, and this is what I knew, is like, don't handle your snake when it's not comfortable eating yet. So don't push it. Don't push it. This is what you gotta remember is your snake may not be used to eating yet, and you've gotta just take it easy and whatnot. So yeah, that's Kairos. And so what I did was after that I tried a flash boiled pinky, where you put the pinky in like a strainer, you boil a small pot of water, and then you slowly pour the pot of boiling water over the pinky, and that essentially boils the pinky, cooks it a little bit, and he ate that, and I tried that again. He didn't eat it, but then I brained it, and then he ate it. All this time, like leaving the mouse for him overnight. Chicken in the morning. He was really difficult to get eating reliably. Now after that, I was like, someone had said the hairdryer thing, so I was like, let's try the hairdryer with Kairos, and so I did the hairdryer to warm up the mouse. It floods the room with the scent of the mouse and gets every single snake in the room into feeding mode. And he didn't tongue feed that, but I put it outside of his enclosure, outside of his hide, just right there inside of the enclosure, outside the hide, and he ate it. I think I got to watch him do that one, and I did that 2 more times, and then this last time I fed him, he actually tongue fed. So he is. So I would say, quite success. He was the reason why I am now comfortable making this video. Then I got Chronos in, and he ate right away. Like tongue fed, no problem. He's about 5 months old. Tongue fed, no problem. Happy to eat. So definitely don't. Your snake is probably doing fine, and will eat pretty good majority of the time. But it's always good to check out ways to feed your snake. I don't think I talked about Obsidia. I think I missed her. Obsidia, I got her like a week after getting Kairozdormu over here. And Obsidia is a black rat snake, eastern black rat snake, and she's been eating really well. The only thing is, when she outgrew she used to like sit up here on the ledge, just under the lid, and like chill there. And when she outgrew that, she stopped eating out in the open. Like she would only eat if she was hidden underneath her hide, or like hiding in the bedding. Like she would stick her head up and then eat. That's the only way she was comfortable eating, and that's the only way I could get her to eat after that. So. Kind of strange. Like you have to work with the snakes, see how they want to eat, and feed them that way. So, but she's eating well. Like she's lively. I just have to. What I do is I just figure out what hide she's in and shake the mouse in front of it until she comes out and eats it, and she eats it majority of the time, no problem. So, yeah, that's That's Obsidia. See, who else? Yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and run down the steps on just ways to feed your snake, how to prep your mouse to feed your snake, because there's feeding methods on how you feed your snake, but there's also is how you prep your mouse. So let's go ahead and go through the list in order of what I would try. First off, I would try a smaller mouse than what your snake would be comfortable eating, and that would be a generally one size under. So like if your snake is big enough to handle a hopper mouse, feed it a large fuzzy or like a mid-sized fuzzy. If your snake's on fuzzies, do a large pinky or a small fuzzy. Just make sure like it's not too big for the snake, because pinky mouse is a mouse to a snake in a new area is kind of intimidating, and you want it to be small so it's not so intimidating. So you're feeding a mouse, go smaller mouse. Okay, so try tongue feeding for like 15 seconds. The snake doesn't seem interested in the mouse, even though the mouse has been in front of the snake. Just put the mouse in front of the hide that the snake's using, and hope he eats it by the morning, like I did with Kairos, and just right in front of the hide. And sometimes he ate, and if he doesn't eat, check back in 4 hours or in the morning, and like 4 to 8 hours, and throw away the mouse, because it'll get funky real quick. After 6 hours, it gets pretty funky pretty quickly. So you want to get rid of it like around then. All right, I have a call coming in, so I have to pause this recording. All right, yeah, sorry about that. That was Burrito calling in. I'm getting 2 new snakes Tuesday, so we had to get a little bit more information, and no problem to get that taken care of. Anyway, so leave the mouse in the morning, overnight. If it doesn't eat it, throw it away. Next time, try braining the mouse. See if the snake will eat a brained mouse. Sometimes the only difference between a brained mouse and the regular frozen thawed mouse is the difference is the fact that it was 2 days later and the snake was 2 days more hungry and wanted to eat. Sometimes the snake's just like, they're not going to eat no matter what. So if they decide to eat, it's only because they decided to eat and it was time for them to eat. So, but usually after that, they'll eat reliably. So it's kind of funny. But anyway, so try brain 2 nights later. Try brain. If it doesn't eat, then throw it out. Try again 2 nights later. This time doing a washed mouse. If it eats the washed mouse, great, no problem. Wash your mice until your snake is confidently eating, then try getting it onto like a regular frozen thawed mouse. If that doesn't work, once again 2 nights later, try the washed brained mouse. If that doesn't work, you want to try the boiled mouse, which, like I said, you put the mouse in a strainer, pour a small pot of boiling water over the mouse, and that kind of cooks the mouse. It washes the mouse at the same time and gets the smelling all good for the snake. And see if it'll take that. If it doesn't tongue feed within show interest in 15 seconds, put it in front of the hide where the snake is hiding, and come back in the morning, throw away the mouse if it hasn't eaten it. After that, then I recommend the hair dryer. You put the mouse on a dish, or in your hand if you're really stupid. On a dish, a plate, bowl works fine. Not a cup. Cups don't really work because the air can't flow into the cup. It just kind of buffers it against the top. But you get the hair dryer and warm it up. With the hair dryer is going to get the mouse between 110 and 130. 130 is too hot, so you want to let the mouse cool just a little bit to get down close to 110. Use your infrared heat scanner to say, do you see how hot the mouse is? But pinky mice generally cool down pretty quickly. With that in front of the snake, see if it'll eat. Doesn't show interest in 15 seconds. Put the mouse in front of the hide, and see if it eats it. My experience at this point, they normally eat, so you're generally good to go. The hairdryer floods the room with the scent of the mouse. The snake can definitely smell that. All the other snakes in the room will come out and inspect and see if they can find the mouse. They'll stick the little heads out of their hides and start wondering, well, where's the food and whatnot. So they will definitely know. All the other snakes will know that there's food in the room. There's food in the room, and if you're lucky, they'll put your snake in your difficult feeder into feeding mode, and it'll eat. If it doesn't eat from the tongs, leave it in front of the hide, and go ahead and leave it there in the morning. If that doesn't work, try the feeding dish. I'll put a picture up here someplace. But the feeding dish, you go ahead and put the mouse and the snake in the feeding dish. You can alternate different methods: washing, boiled, hair dryer, brained, normal mouse, to see if the snake will just. Generally with the feeding dish, you want to put the feeding dish. Go ahead and turn the light off in the room with the feeding dish, and you'll go ahead and like leave the room and just come back in like 2 hours, come back in 4 hours, or come back in the morning and let the snake out and throw away the mouse if it doesn't eat. If that doesn't work, just alternate that a few times until you get after a month. Generally by a month the snake would have eaten by now. Keep trying. I wouldn't try live yet, because if you have a live mouse, if you're feeding a live mouse and the snake has not eaten a live mouse yet, hasn't eaten frozen thaw yet with gusto, it may just switch over to live mice only, and then you have a whole battle of getting your snake off of live mice onto frozen thawed mice. So it's not a fun battle. So don't do live mice like just because you're frustrated. Try holding off until about a month and a half. If it's a month and a half, generally at that point your snake probably needs to eat. So try the live mice. The live mouse, you want to do a day-old pinky. You probably would have already lined up a pet store to buy a live mouse from. Call the pet store to see if they had any litters of live pinky mice, and call them up in the about midday and ask if they had a new litter of mice. And if they have, put the mouse in the feeding container, put the snake in the feeding container, and your snake will probably eat. The live mice is the silver bullet. The snake will generally eat a live mouse 100% of the time, every time. This is natural. May not be exactly natural prey, because I think cornsnakes in the wild eat more lizards and maybe small bird eggs. But if they ever found a live pinky mouse, little cornsnake will definitely eat a live pinky mouse in the wild if they ever found them. So yeah, so that's where you're going to be good to go with the live mouse. Once again, I would not try the live mouse immediately. Your cornsnake has eaten. It has eaten at least 2 times for the breeder before the breeder sent it to you. So it has already eaten mice before. Generally, a breeder will not send a snake out unless it's eaten on its own, unassisted, like two or three times on its own. Most breeders, unless they said otherwise, and at that point you're probably already experienced with getting new snakes onto mice. No problem on your own. You probably don't know watching this video anyway. But that's what you got to remember, is your snake has already eaten twice, so it already knows mice is food for the most part. Unless you get an outlier like Acridostrasz over here, which only eats frozen thawed quail chicks with gusto. It didn't even eat live mice with gusto, but he ate live mouse. I had him on live mice for almost 10 months before switching him. He was on live mice with me for 8 months before I got him to a good enough size so he can eat quail chicks. So live mice is something that you just gotta do sometimes. And I could never get him to take the frozen thawed mouse. I got him like once or twice after when I gave him a live mouse and a frozen thawed mouse, and he just coincidentally ate the frozen thawed mouse with him. Hi guys, I just got into my phone actually ran out of storage space. I am finishing up this video at my computer talking to you. So Acridostrasz like I said, he took that frozen thawed mouse once or twice, only because he ate a live mouse and was like, hey, look, there's more food here, let's go ahead and eat that. So it did happen once or twice before I got on the frozen thawed quail, but it was very rare. Out of the probably about the 20 times I fed him, it was more than 20, but out of all the times I fed him live, I only got him to switch over got him to eat a frozen thawed once or twice. It wouldn't walk. I just had to break down, go back to feeding him live after a couple of hunger strikes of me not feeding him at all, trying to get him to eat. Like, he went a good 2 months without food, and I broke down, just went ahead and started feeding him live mice again. And this was just before I got the quail, so the quail is what he likes. You saw the video earlier where Acrite is going nuts over that frozen thawed quail. So sometimes that's what it takes. You just gotta feed live sometimes. But I just want to point out that your snake has already eaten on its own at least twice before the breeder sent it to you. Most breeders will not send out snakes that are not ready to eat. They will not send a snake out that won't eat. Like, they want the snakes to eat. They want them to have the best chances. So you will not need to force feed your snake. You will not need to assist feed your snake. You probably won't need to tease feed your snake. And those videos on how to tease feed a snake, but my experience, you don't need to do that at all. So thanks for watching. I know this has been a very long video, but this is an in-depth topic that needed to be talked about. So I hope that it does help out a lot. Please like, subscribe. If you have any follow-up questions, just go ahead and post it in the comments, and I'll answer those questions. If you need help, I'll answer it in the comments. If I need to, I'll make a follow-up video even. But this has been a video that I've been hesitant to make because up until now I have not felt confident that I can really say that, I could feed a cornsnake and get it to eat. At this point, I feel confident I could. There's still going to be the couple of cornsnakes that just will not eat at all, but those are the cornsnakes that the breeders hatched out, and it's more of situations of failure to thrive. And though the breeder can force feed a snake, eventually that snake has got to make up its mind that it's going to eat on its own, and the breeders are the ones who are dealing with those snakes, not you. So you don't need to force feed your snake. You probably don't need to assist feed, and you don't even need to assist feed. You probably don't even need to tease feed. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, stick around. Have a great day.